Welcome to Radiant Reiki with Carol and my podcast, The Radiant Wave. This week, Spirit wanted me to talk about what's important in our lives, all of our lives, what is important to us. It may be friends, it may be family, it may be honesty, it may be integrity, or it could be money, making money, getting money, I don't know. Or it could be all of these things. There's so many things that may be important to you and maybe causes that light you up. But it's important to find out what's important to you because that is probably your purpose here on earth. We all have different reasons for coming to earth, and whatever makes you happy or lights you up or that you're passionate about is probably something that you're supposed to be doing. Maybe it's gifts that you have to share with other people, or maybe it's just something that you love to do. And like, if you're an artist or a musician, or in my case, a speaker, or a teacher, or anything that you feel important about is very likely your purpose. So you want to turn your focus on to what's important because that's probably your purpose. Now, there's other kinds of reasons when we come to Earth. We have contracts to fulfill. So that's another reason to find out, to kind of focus in on what's important to you. One way you can do that is you need to get into your heart space to find out what's really important to you. You can think all you want with your mind, and that is going to be a lot of things that you've been taught here on earth by your parents, that kind of thing, which may be just fine. Maybe that's what your purpose is. But if you want to go beyond that, you want to get into your heart space. To get into your heart space, you can do this, go counterclockwise with your fingers in front of your heart chakra. See, I'm already feeling heat right here. And you breathe deeply a few times and close your eyes. And pretty soon you go from your head to your heart. So when you're in your heart space, think about, at that point, you can think with your heart, what's important to you in your life? What do you really want to be focusing on right now? And find out what that is, because that's probably your purpose. Other things that are included in our purpose is also if we have contracts that we have to fulfill. For example, we might have contracts to, in this life, before we came down, we signed contracts to, like I signed a contract with both my son and my daughter that I would be their mom, right? And probably with my husband that I would be his wife, that we would do these roles in this lifetime to help us either grow or learn lessons or whatever we need to do. We all are here to grow. So one of the contracts I signed with, of course, to have my daughter be my daughter, and I agreed to do that this lifetime with her. And I've had many lifetimes with her. We've been sisters in the past and many other things. But one of the things I found out that I signed a contract with for her was to introduce her to spirituality. I found that out through an Akashic Records reading. I've had a person here that I've had an Akashic Records reading with. I did an interview with her, so in a previous video, so I'll post that at the end if you want more information about Akashic Records. It's very interesting. But I found out at that reading that the angels were like, yay, way to go, Carol. You were supposed to introduce Claire, my daughter, to spirituality. And I'm thinking, gee, Mini Christmas, why was that so important? But I think it was important because she's now doing intergenerational healing. And what that is when you help heal trapped emotions or trauma from your life and from your ancestors' lives. So let's say, for example, I have stomach problems, and my mom had them, and her mom probably had them, and all the way back, right? So Claire finds out how many generations back these stomach problems are, and where does it originate. So like it originated with, she found out, being distraught and hopeless in a situation. I have no idea who it was or what caused it, but that's where it began, these stomach problems. And then because they didn't deal with them, those emotions, they probably stuffed them down because they had to, maybe, I don't know. Then they get passed down to all the next generations, and now here I am with stomach problems. And my daughter has them too, and she's going to pass them on to her daughter. So we don't want that, right? So what Claire can do is find out what it is that the intergenerational, what it is that caused it, and then she can heal it from that day forward in yourself and your loved ones that are come after you. It's amazing. So I think that all my ancestors were like, yes, now, because our ancestors get healed too. So it's not just us that get healed. It's all our ancestors, even when they're on, on the other side, they get a healing too. So like when I have Reiki sessions, for example, here, I always invite my benevolent ancestors and any of the benevolent ancestors of the person on my table to join us in the Reiki session as well. And I think by them helping me help with Reiki, by giving that healing with us, it also helps heal them. So, I mean, I don't know everything. This is just the things that I've learned while studying spirituality. I'll probably know more when I get to the other side. But as it stands now, I know that my benevolent ancestors love to be called in, and I think that because they get a healing too. So it's interesting to think about how we can break these generational traumas by feeling our emotions. So it's really important that whatever happens, if you're distraught, if you have worry, you have whatever emotions you have, to acknowledge them, feel them, and then release them, right? Because by stuffing them down, it's just going to make you sick, and then it'll make your next generation sick too, because you'll be passing that on to them. So we don't want that. So anyway, that was one contract that I signed that prior to coming here. So that was one of my purposes, was to teach Claire spirituality so that then she could become this intergenerational healer, I guess. There's a lot of things she does. She's a healer in many different avenues, so I don't know which thing, but they're really happy about Claire. Remember, your purpose will always light you up. It will always make you happy, and it will never be drudgery to do. So your purpose is something that you feel passionate about, okay? And so get into that heart space like I showed you, and then see what's really important to you. In that moment, ask, what is important to me in this lifetime? And you'll find out maybe what your purpose is, and then you can get going on it. So, because it's going to bring you happiness. So that's the important thing, right? All right. Well, so make sure you check out my previous videos on Akashic Records, on finding your purpose, and for releasing trapped trauma with emotions. All of those might be helpful to you that I've talked about here in this video. Okay? All right. In love and light, I'll see you next time.